And it is another Blender tutorial by Zulubo. In this tutorial, we shall make a bomb that explodes. So, hopefully this won't be as long as that other window one that I did recently. Anyway, so open up Blender, and you can just go ahead and delete this cube. And on Shift A, add mesh UV sphere. And sort of put that right in the middle there. And up a little bit. There, okay. So we have our bomb. There, okay. Nope, that is not done. Let's so see, everybody knows I need to fix this. Okay, Shift A, add mesh cylinder, and scale it down, move it up, and sort of center it right on the top of your bomb. Just scale it down, a little shorter, and that looks okay. Okay, so now just select this sphere. Since we want it to be pretty good, go to modifiers, add modifier, subdivision surface, render, set that to 1, then just apply it. Then select the sphere and then shift, select that, Control J, and that joins them together. And then go to material, new, and go to shading up here and set it to smooth. Smooth. And then on materials here, set diffuse way down to black, red 0, green 0, blue 0. And specular, set the intensity up to like 0.75. And then hardness up to 100. And then if you render it there, that's alright. Okay? And so now we're going to make our fuse. Fuse time. Okay, so Shift A, add another cylinder, and scale this one down, move it right up to the top. Scale it down some more. And then just press S and then Z to scale it up on the Z axis. Z up. And you can move it up. And you can sort of make it however you want. So your fuse, your bomb. Okay, and there's my fuse. Okay. And next, we are going to make the fire, the little flame on the wick. And so add a UV sphere, move it up, scale it way down. Put it right on top of that wiki there. and just move it so it is right like that. And then grab this, select this, and then shift select this, then Control P, set parent to object. So now if we move this, it'll move with it. That's good. So go to this here. Let's add a wick looking thing. Material. So add a new material. Diffuse. Set it to brownish. Red 1. Green 0.3. And then darkness down a little bit. And specular to 0. And we can just do this to clouds. I think that'll be fine for it. And set this to sort of a lighter color. Still brown. And then look at this again. You can see that it's kind of weird. There. That's good. Render an image. You can't even see that the fuse is like that, but that's alright. So now take this and add a particle system to it. Number 1000 is fine. Start 1, end 100. 100 will be when the bomb explodes. Frame 100. Oops, that was lifetime. I meant end 100. Lifetime, we're going to set to 5, and look at that. So, oh, that's way too far. So, more like 3. Play that. That's good. And if we look at that, it's going to be like that, which we don't want. So, go to the particle settings here and set number to 250. And still like a large, so go to the material, new, halo, set size down to 0.25, and set this to red up, blue 0, and green 0.75. And then star tips 4, that's good. Now if we look at that, that looks weird. Sorry, that's my cat in the background. Oh, I get what it is. It's the object here that's doing that. So go tab into edit mode and actually select one vertice and then select inverse and then just delete all the other ones. So now we've just got this one vertice. Okay, so now if we render it, that looks slightly better. If you play, it's not working. Oh, I see. I'm guessing that one point there is emitting from its faces, which it doesn't have, so go to particle system, emit from, yes, verts. And it's all going like that. So you know, tab into edit mode, delete that vertice, and then add a plane. And scale the plane down. Just kind of bring it up here. Be quiet, Percy. just center that right about there. This thing just doesn't want to go where I want it to be. There. And then scale that down some more. And go to the particles and set it to faces again. So now, play that tab out of edit mode. I think they're going down. So set emitter geometry to 3, and then take this, say rotate Y 180. Just type in 180 on your keyboard. Render an image. There. And now if we play this, it shoots them way up into the sky. And that is actually okay. But we can still set the emitter geometry to 2. That is fine. Okay. So yours doesn't do this exactly, that is totally fine. So on here, we're going to edit this, so tab into edit mode, and then A to deselect everything, and hold Control R to create an edge loop and get it so the circle is right there, and click, then move that up to here, about. And now, that should be selected, and then hold Alt, Shift, and select that, then Shift, select that, and then go into Materials, and plus, New Material, New, Diffuse, Black, I'll set it to Gray, and Specular down, and that is fine. And click the sign. And now that part of the wick will be gray, like it's burnt. Not that you can really see it. So I'm going to move this camera in. You can tab out of edit mode. Let's move the camera in. Let's go into view, camera. Then if you just hit G and then X, it'll move it. G, Y, G, Z, G, Y, G, X, G, Z. Just click G and then Z. And see there, that's cool. Only one more thing, select this. I noticed that all the little things were kind of looking exactly the same, so go to particle settings again and set rotation to dynamic. Now the particles should rotate, and also set Brownian to 5. See if that works. There, kind of. I don't know. Hopefully it'll look better when we render the whole animation. Oh, great. Don't do that. Select the camera, then grab X, grab Y, X, Y, Z. And what the heck, just go to camera settings and put the focal length down. Set it to 32. Okay, there's our bomb. Now let's make it explode. So select this bomb. You can get out of the camera view and go to frame 100, and then you're going to actually add a particle system for this bomb. And this is fine, set it start, not 1, set it to 100, and end 110. So now if you look at this, boom. those are going to be chunks of the bomb exploding. So, set rotation to dynamic. Set emitter geometry to 5. Then take a look at that. Go to frame 90 and play. Boom. That's going to be all the chunks of the bomb. So now, with the bomb still selected, go to your modifiers and add modifier. And go to explode. And then you can play this. Hopefully it does that. Boom. And then, you can just watch that because it's super fun. So then go to your particle settings again and set Brownian up to 5 and drag up to 0.3. Now if you play this again, that actually looks a little bit better. But one more thing, let's say end to 105. So it's a little bit of a quicker explosion. Boom, that's good. So now we're gonna make a little thing for this bomb to sit on. These bombs don't just fly around. So add a mesh grid, and before you touch it, say X subdivisions 50 and Y subdivisions 50. And then if you tab into edit mode, you can see there is a lot of subdivisions on there. And so scale this up. And now move this up above the bomb and go into view top. Zoom in so you can see that. And if you want to, you can go into orthographic view. So a little bit better. So go to sculpt mode on this and just leave it at this. Let's see, maybe there will be something better. I think this is a fine tool. So draw, set tool to draw. It should automatically be there. And set strength all the way up to 1. Radius, just sort of add a little hill around the sides of here. And do a couple layers. If you let go and click again, and it'll start going a little higher. It accumulates more hill. And then just add a little mound right here for the bomb to sit on. And then if you look at that, there, that's okay. Just sort of make this a little more slopey. Okay, that's fine, and you can go back to perspective view. If you want to subtract some of this hill because it's sticking up too much, that's good. Okay, so go back to object, not edit mode, object mode. Move this down. Move it just so the bomb is sitting there. Top of it. Sort of hovering a tiny bit. Just don't make the bomb like inside of it. Okay, and then go to the physics for this and enable physics for collision and particle damping factor 1. So now, here, let's scale this up a tiny bit and RZ and rotate it like that. So if we render, so let's move the camera out a little bit and set this, select the hills here, set shading to smooth. If you render an image, there is the bomb. And move the camera back a little bit more. Up, unlike mine. Okay. So now if you play this like from 90, you can see the things kind of slide around on there. Ooh. And they collide with it, which is good. Except you can also see the particles that are in here. Like if we render this right here, there's actually particles there too, the halo particles. So select this and go to the particle settings and render. Actually, we do want halo. I was lying there. No, we don't want halo. I was lying again. So set it to none. So now if you look at it here, oops. There. And that's cool. That the wick is still there. Let's make it so the wick actually burns down also, instead of just staying in one place. So go to keyframes here and set it to location and add a keyframe with the wick selected. And then go to frame 100, move it down to here, and add another keyframe. So now A to deselect everything, and hit play there, and it burns the wick down. And right then, if you play this whole thing, boop, down the wick goes, and boom, just explodes there. And if you render this here, you can see the wick is still glowing. So let's make the wick explode too right here. So give the wick a particle system, add one, and the wick is going to be like our fire and stuff. No, our wick is just going to be our wick. Okay, let's set this to, so we want our wick to disappear when, okay, let's get rid of this particle system. You know, yeah, let's bring this back. Sorry, I keep messing up here. So go to frame 100, and so say start 100, end 105, lifetime. Here, actually go to here, set the lifetime to 200. And on here, set it to 200 also. And emitter geometry, that's fine. So now if you go to modifiers and you add an explode modifier, the wick is going to explode also. Look at all those wick chunks. And go back to the particle system and render, we want it to be none again. You can't see any of the rendered stuff. There's the little pieces of the wick right in the middle, and there's still that glowing thing right there, which I guess is okay. So now let's add the explosion part, because when things explode, they don't just disappear. They don't just explode. We want fire in our explosion. So add an icosphere here and put it right in the middle of the explosion and go back to the beginning. Make sure you can't really see it, so scale it down. And back in the explosion part, add a particle system and set it to 95, just 97. And end 150. Lifetime 50 is fine. Okay, and go down here and on render, set emitter to none. We don't want it to render the emitter. So if we play this now, we can look at this. Wick burns down, boom, there go the explosion particles. And we want emitter geometry to be up, so set this to like 6. I think that'll be okay. Boom, yeah, that's good. And if we render this, you'll notice there's no icosphere in the middle because that was destroyed. So now go to the material, new, halo, like usual. Size, set it to 0.25. And set this to like reddish, orangey color. Lines, we want lines, but only 7. We want the lines to be sort of set blue to 0. We don't want them to be all yellow. We want them to be pretty reddish. So now, boom, fire and explosion stuff. Okay, so set rotation on these particles to dynamic. And if we A to deselect everything, view camera, this is what the camera sees, and let's just move this camera up a little bit. Grab Y this way, grab X, grab Z. Okay. Boom. If we render that now, you can see there's kind of just some fire. Everything. Let's work on some lighting. So select your light, set it to sun. It would be cool if we did it this way. So rotate Z until it's pointing about that way. Let's see the camera. So point it about towards the camera. So R, Z. I did that way. Then R, X, up, R, X, more up, X down a tiny bit. And then you can just do it that way. And then set sky to check, and sun and sky presets is good, and if you render that, it is all dark, but there's a sun over there. So let's RX it down a tiny bit. Can't really see what I'm doing here. So RX, shoot, image. Can't see the sun, which is what I'm trying to be able to see. So view, camera, then rotate X up a little bit more, grab Z. I just want to see if I can see the sun. Render another image, and see, it thinks it's evening because the sun is like that. So RX down like that. a little more light. And go to the sun and set it to classic. On brightness, size, you can set that up. And you still can't see that, so rotate X. Just basically play around with this until you can't see it. There it is right there. I don't even like that, so rotate X, just get it down. Rotate Z. Set it like that. And there. That's fine. I also want a sky, so hold Shift A, mesh, add mesh, UV sphere, scale up, and just scale it until it's about that size. And then select this and go to Material, New, Texture, New, Cloud, set it to Image or Movie, and open. So here, BlenderCookie.com. These are some good skies that I found. So go to Resources and Textures. Go to Textures Skies Part 2. Just download these. They're free. They're fun. They're really good sky textures for sky domes. So just download these by clicking on them and download source files and just click there and you'll download them. And I already have these on my computer, so sky textures right here, and I'm just going to use the first one. No, don't really want it to be evening. So open sky textures. Let's do number 3. No, how about number 6? There, I'm going to use number 6. And so if we, how did that even happen? Oh, this thing is casting a shadow, so go to Materials. Do not want this to set always off, set shadeless on, and see if this will work better. Okay, go back to Materials and set casting alpha to 0. It doesn't want to be 0. Set receive off. Okay, you can set this from sun to point. I guess that's okay. Set the energy up a little bit. And you can see those clouds in the background don't really look good, and neither does the light. So set the energy back down to 3, about 3. There, now the lighting looks better. Clouds do not. So select this sphere, your sky dome, and press tab to go into edit mode. Unwrap sphere projection. Then go to texture and on mapping down here. Coordinates, switch it from generated to UV. I mean, it still kind of feels like you're on a floating island here, but we can fix that. So tab out of edit mode, select your camera, into view, camera, grab Z down, or I'm just gonna scale this up. Cool. Then go back here and make sure it's not touching your little bomby bomb. Okay, it's being very slow. I don't know why it suddenly decided to be slow on me. Grab Z. I see, it's locking to the things. It's not being slow. Aha, okay. I don't know what I pressed. It's fine. That's locking too. I don't know what's going on here. But this is fine. Okay. Hooray. And another image. Sort of fix this until you can see the sky. Rotate X. Rotate Y. Rotate X. Rotate Y. Just play around until you get what you want. I'll see the bomb. Let's just view camera. Grab Z. There. Perfecto. Now go to the ground, select the ground, and add a texture, add a material, set the material to clouds is fine. You can really do any kind of grass thing you want. Now I'll just do this thing I happen to have. Yeah, I think I'll just do clouds. Do like green. And for diffuse, do green. Get darker green, maybe. And specular, no specular. I don't want shiny grass. There, boom bomb, hooray. Now if you play this, you can just watch. Cool. No bomb anymore. Okay. So I hope you liked this tutorial. I guess soon I will be posting the outcome of this render onto YouTube, as well as this tutorial. Probably already on there as you're watching this. So, goodbye, and see you next time.